in the quiet expanse of timelessness, before moments had meaning, and before the concept of before even existed, there was a gentle stillness that stretched endlessly. It was neither dark nor light, neither warm nor cold. It was a soft, serene nothingness, silent and calm, as though the universe itself were resting, preparing to breathe for the very first time. Within this peaceful nothingness, there was no space, no stars, no drifting clouds of cosmic dust. There was only a tranquil, untouched quiet, a calm so complete that it felt like the softest blanket around all possibilities not yet awakened. And in that boundless calm, something tiny, impossibly tiny, rested silently, holding within it secrets and stories and futures waiting patiently. This small, delicate seed of everything seemed to hum with an almost imperceptible stillness, an energy so gentle that it felt like a whisper curled into the fabric of nothingness. And though nothing moved, though nothing stirred, the potential within that single point was immense and comforting, like the soft anticipation before the dawn begins to brighten the sky. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the quiet around it deepened, and that little point of potential drew in the stillness, gathering itself the way a drowsy mind gathers dreams. The energy inside it was peaceful, steady, and warm in a way that transcended temperature, a warmth felt not in the body but in the essence of being. It was calm, and it was waiting, and in that waiting there was a kind of cosmic serenity that lulled the darkness into an even deeper rest. Nothing rushed, nothing hurried. Everything was suspended in a gentle timelessness, as though the universe were taking a long, slow breath. Then, in the midst of this tranquility, something began to shift, not abruptly, not loudly, but softly, like a small ripple spreading across still water. The point of energy quivered ever so slightly, a delicate tremble that might easily have been mistaken for a sigh. From that tiny motion, a soft glow emerged, faint and patient, as though testing the idea of light for the very first time. The glow did not force itself forward. It simply expanded with quiet curiosity, drifting outward with warm, calming intent. And as it expanded, it carried with it the promise of space, of time, of stars yet to be born, all wrapped gently inside the slow unfurling of cosmic dawn. The light grew, smooth and steady, stretching the once timeless stillness into the very first hints of a beginning. Space curled outward like the petals of a slow opening flower, unfolding gently, peacefully, spreading without urgency. Time followed, soft and fluid, sliding into existence like a quiet river beginning its endless path. The expansion was calm, not chaotic in this retelling, but rhythmic and serene, a gentle blossoming of everything that would ever be. In this peaceful version of creation, the universe did not explode with violence, but breathed itself awake, releasing warmth and luminosity like a long, soothing exhale. Particles danced into existence, tiny and delicate, swirling in patterns that felt like the first motions of a cosmic lullaby. They drifted and spun, weaving through the newborn space with effortless grace. Their movements were slow and harmonious, as if choreographed by the universe's newfound rhythm. Light flowed around them, bathing them in a soft, shimmering glow, a glow that stretched across the vast, expanding canvas. Every flicker of light was gentle, every motion calm, forming a grand ballet of beginnings that felt almost like the universe was dreaming itself into being. As the expansion continued, clouds of glowing energy drifted outward, spreading like warm mist. Within these clouds, particles gathered softly, drawn together by a quiet pull that seemed to whisper of future possibilities. They merged and separated and merged again, creating subtle patterns that rippled like waves across the cosmic ocean. These ripples formed the earliest breaths of structure, the faint hints of shapes that would one day become stars, galaxies, and worlds. But in these early moments, everything was unformed, floating peacefully in the cradle of space that was growing wider and more inviting with every passing moment. The warmth of the early universe washed through the expanding space, soothing and gentle, like a soft blanket wrapped around the cosmos. Even as the light shifted and stretched, even as the particles glided and twirled, the overwhelming feeling was one of calm, pure, expansive calm. The universe was still young, still soft, still glowing with the afterlight of its peaceful awakening. As the glow spread farther and farther, the cosmic mist thinned in a tranquil, unhurried way, revealing more open space where the earliest hints of form could drift freely. The gentle pull between floating particles grew ever so slightly stronger, like a quiet invitation. Slowly, gracefully, they drifted toward one another, gathering in delicate clusters that pulsed faintly with warmth. These clusters swirled in soft spirals, creating patterns that resembled sleepy whirlpools drifting across an endless sea. As they merged, the clusters grew denser, but never harshly, only with the slow, steady comfort of something finding its natural shape. Their soft rotations created currents of energy that looped and curved through the forming universe, adding a sense of motion that felt as steady and predictable as a heartbeat. With time, still new, still stretching and expanding, the clusters of matter grew into calming spirals of glowing dust. These spirals drifted peacefully, unfurling across space with gentle, sweeping arms that turned so slowly it was as if they were barely moving at all. These were the earliest galaxies, forming in silence, their shapes smoothing into existence like long strokes of a painter's brush across an infinite dark canvas. Each spiral carried within it countless possibilities, future stars sleeping in the dust, waiting for their moment to ignite. Within one such spiral, a soft curl of gas drifted inward, slowly condensing around a warm center. The particles moved lazily, floating toward the middle with quiet intention. The warmth increased little by little, not sharply, but gradually, like a fire kindling gently in a cold room. The glow became richer, denser, a soft sphere of light forming at the heart of the cloud. This was the beginning of a star, not born in violence, but in calm, gathering itself peacefully into a ball of soothing warmth. Its gentle glow spread outward, illuminating the surrounding dust with soft golden light. Around this forming star, the dust drifted in calming spirals, slowly settling into a thin, smooth disk. Within the disk, tiny grains brushed past one another, sticking softly, gathering in clusters that grew larger with each passing moment. They tumbled and joined effortlessly, as though guided by a quiet cosmic hand. These clusters formed pebbles, and the pebbles formed stones, and the stones became larger bodies that drifted in slow orbits around the warm center. Everything moved with the pace of a universe in no hurry, a universe that valued the tranquility of gradual growth. As the star brightened softly, warming its surroundings with a gentle glow, the orbiting bodies continued to merge, their motions smooth and rhythmic. One such body, circling at a comfortable distance, gathered more and more material until it became a round, peaceful sphere, still molten inside, still forming its identity, but already beginning the long, slow journey of becoming a planet. Its surface shimmered with heat, glowing faintly under the newborn star's warm light. And as it cooled over countless, calm, drifting ages, it formed oceans of quiet water, their surfaces rippling softly beneath the gentle starlight. Waves rolled slowly across these young oceans, their patterns steady and soothing, like the breath of the planet itself. The water carried minerals and warmth, swirling in lazy spirals that mixed and blended under the soft glow of the star. Over time, in the calm of these ancient seas, tiny building blocks drifted and combined, forming simple structures that floated in peaceful surrender to the rhythm of the waves. They swayed and shifted, gathering energy from the warm water, growing in complexity with a patience that only the newborn universe could offer. As ages passed, these simple forms became more intricate, forming delicate strands that curled and unwound like ribbons drifting in a gentle current. They connected, separated, and connected again, discovering new patterns, new shapes, new ways to reflect the quiet energy around them. These strands gave rise to tiny living structures that shimmered with a faint vitality, their movements slow and soft, like the flutter of a dream. They multiplied gradually, filling the oceans with a tranquil hum of new life that drifted just beneath the surface, moving in harmony with the peaceful rhythms of the planet. The oceans deepened in color, becoming vast fields of calming blue. Beneath the surface, life swayed gently, illuminated by the faint sunlight filtering through the water. Everything moved in slow, graceful motions, even as life evolved, adapting in countless small steps. The overall feeling remained serene, the world unfolding in quiet progression, one gentle moment at a time. The planet spun calmly, seasons passing softly, each one blending into the next with gentle continuity. Land eventually rose, not in bursts of violence, but in long, slow shifts that lifted quiet shores into the soft light. Mosses and small plants crept across these shores, spreading in delicate patterns of green that softened the landscape. Winds whispered over them, carrying with them the mild sense of growing things, as gentle breezes continued shaping the contours of the world. In this slow unfolding, forests emerged, their leaves rustling softly in harmonies that echoed through the calm air. Creatures wandered these forests, quiet, curious, gentle in their movements. They moved with the same unhurried rhythm that defined the universe from its earliest breath. Every step, every flutter, every ripple in the water was part of a peaceful dance that had begun with the first soft glow at the dawn of time. Life evolved from one form to the next, interconnected and resonant, each new shape a reflection of the quiet endurance and patient unfolding of the cosmos. And through all of this, the universe continued to expand calmly around it. Galaxies drifted farther apart in slow, measured intervals, their spirals elegant and relaxed. Stars pulsed gently in the darkness, casting soothing glimmers that traveled endlessly through space. Nebulas glowed with soft colors, lavender, blue, rose, spreading like watercolor across the vast night. Everywhere, the universe remained a grand, tranquil tapestry, woven with light and calm motion. And as the universe spread outward in its gentle expansion, the soft glow of distant stars shimmered like tiny, calming lanterns scattered across an endless night. Their light traveled in quiet patience, crossing vast stretches of space, never rushing, never demanding, simply existing as small, comforting guides in the cosmic dark. These ancient rays drifted through nebula clouds that floated like delicate veils, their colors blending softly like slow-moving waves of pastel light. Everywhere, the universe breathed with stillness, each moment drifting peacefully into the next, a serene continuum that wrapped itself around all creation. On that small blue world, turning quietly around its warm star, life continued its gentle unfolding. The forests thickened, their canopies swaying in harmony with soft winds that carried the scents of earth and new growth. Rivers traced calm paths through valleys, their waters gliding over smooth stones as though humming lullabies shaped by time. Mountains stood in silent watch, their peaks resting under drifting clouds that moved with slow, soothing grace across the sky. Every corner of this world seemed to be settling deeper into tranquility, shaped by the same peaceful rhythm that had guided the stars and galaxies since the universe's earliest breath. Creatures in the forests and oceans lived in accordance with this quiet rhythm. Schools of shimmering fish swam in sweeping patterns beneath the calm surface of the seas, their scales catching sunlight in gentle flashes like small stars winking into view. Birds glided on wide wings through air that felt soft and warm, barely needing to flap as they let the currents carry them effortlessly across the landscape. Even the smallest creatures moved with unhurried grace, following instincts shaped by the slow passage of time. Among these creatures, one species gradually began to look upward, observing the warm glow of the star above, the pale reflection of the moon drifting across the sky, and the faint glitter of faraway lights that pierced the night. Their thoughts deepened softly, like ripples spreading across a quiet pond. They wondered slowly and curiously about the world around them. They wondered about the stars, about the gentle turning of the seasons, about the oceans that breathed with the tides. And though they did not yet understand what they were seeing, something within them resonated with a sense of calm wonder, as if some quiet part of their being recognized the peaceful story woven into the fabric of the universe. As generations passed softly, their footsteps shaped paths through forests bathed in morning mist. Their hands carved gentle marks into memory, and their voices began to echo with stories spoken softly around dim fires that flickered like tiny stars. They listened to the sounds of the night, the rustle of leaves, the whisper of wind, the distant call of unseen creatures. These sounds soothed them, grounding them in the world the universe had shaped through patient unfolding. Slowly, their understanding deepened, like dawn light stretching across a sleeping landscape. They learned to observe the stars with steady patience, noticing patterns that drifted slowly across the sky as the seasons passed. They felt comfort in these celestial rhythms, sensing that the universe moved with a predictable calmness that offered both reassurance and quiet awe. Nights became opportunities for contemplation, moments where they could rest beneath the sky and imagine stories within the constellations, letting their minds wander gently across the vastness above them. With time, their curiosity brought new discoveries. They learned to harness fire, its warm glow dancing softly in the dark, reminding them of the distant stars. They shaped tools from stone and wood, each one crafted with the slow care of hands that had learned to appreciate the steady pace of creation. Villages formed, small communities nestled among trees and fields, where each day flowed gently into the next. People gathered at dusk to share food and laughter, their voices rising and falling like the quiet rhythm of waves, blending seamlessly into the serenity of the evening. As their knowledge grew, they built places where they could gather and observe the sky in greater detail. They noticed how the moon pulled at the waters of the oceans, creating tides that breathed in and out with unhurried grace. They recognized that the planets, tiny lights wandering across the night, followed smooth paths that mirrored the steady, predictable progression of time itself. All the while, the universe continued its calm expansion, a silent companion to their growing understanding. Their civilizations rose gradually, shaped by seasons, by stars, by the gentle passing of centuries. Great structures were built, their stones lifted one by one, with deliberate care, each piece set into place in harmony with the earth and sky. These places became sanctuaries of stillness where people could sit quietly, letting the slow rhythm of the universe resonate within them. They felt connected to something vast and timeless, something that stretched far beyond their own lives, yet felt intimately intertwined with them. Over many centuries, their tools became more refined, their observations more precise. They crafted lenses that captured light from distant stars, bringing into focus the sparkling tapestry that had always rested patiently above them. Through these lenses, they began to see deeper, to notice galaxies swirling like soft spirals of light, to glimpse nebula clouds glowing with tender colors, to witness stars being born in cradles of dust that floated through space like drifting dreams. Their wonder deepened, unfolding like a blooming flower. Even as their knowledge expanded, the universe remained calm and steady, holding them gently within its vastness. And the people, now aware of the immensity surrounding them, felt a sense of peaceful awe. They understood that their world was just one small cradle of life in a cosmos filled with uncountable stars, each one shining softly in the endless night. Instead of overwhelming them, this realization soothed them, allowing them to rest in the knowledge that they were part of a story far larger than themselves. As time continued, smooth and unbroken, they built ways to explore beyond their world. They sent small vessels drifting into the quiet darkness of space, their soft hums echoing the same calm rhythm that had begun at the dawn of creation. These vessels carried with them messages of peace, gentle greetings drifting through the cosmos like feathers carried on a slow breeze. Their journey was long and patient, matching the steady pace of the universe's own unfolding. Back on their world, people looked upward with a sense of serene belonging. They watched the stars appear each night, one by one, until the sky was scattered with calming points of light. They breathed slowly, deeply, feeling the quiet connection between their own heartbeat and the ancient rhythms of the cosmos. In moments of rest, they imagined themselves drifting among the stars, floating weightlessly through soft clouds of stardust, feeling time stretch gently without pressure or urgency. Their understanding grew to include the story of the universe's beginning, but instead of imagining a violent explosion, they envisioned a peaceful expansion, a warm, glowing moment in which everything unfolded softly from a point of serene potential. They could almost feel the delicate calm of that moment, the slow spreading of light, the quiet dance of particles finding one another, the gentle birth of stars. This story comforted them, offering a sense of calm stability that reached back billions of years and extended endlessly into the future. In this way, the story of the universe became a lullaby, passed down through generations, a soothing reminder that everything, from the smallest grain of sand to the grandest galaxy, was part of a gentle and ongoing rhythm. Parents whispered this tale to their children at bedtime, describing the soft glow that filled the newborn cosmos, the calm swirling of early galaxies, the slow turning of the earth through day and night. These stories drifted into dreams, carrying with them a sense of peace as deep as the universe itself. As nights passed and seasons shifted, the people found comfort in the idea that the same atoms forming their bodies had once rested in the warm glow of the early universe. They imagined themselves as tiny pieces of stardust, gently moving through time, held by an invisible thread that connected them to every star, every planet, every drifting cloud of cosmic mist. This connection soothed them, reminding them that they were not separate from the universe, but part of its slow, harmonious unfolding. And still, the universe expanded. Still, stars pulsed quietly in the darkness. Still, galaxies drifted in slow, graceful arcs across the cosmic sea. Nothing hurried, nothing rushed. Everything moved with the patient calm of a story unfolding exactly as it was meant to. The quiet of space was not empty, but filled with gentle possibility, with the soft hum of energy stretching across unimaginable distances, with the soothing quiet that came from knowing the universe had been breathing steadily since its very beginning. And through all of it, life continued to evolve, continuing its gentle dance across the surface of that small blue world illuminated by a warm, steady star. The people who looked to the sky felt the same peaceful awe as generations before them. They walked along quiet shores where waves whispered against the sand, watched leaves flutter softly in the breeze, listened to the slow, steady rhythm of their own hearts, and understood that each moment was part of a much larger serenity surrounding them. Eventually, their minds reached outward again, imagining not just their world, but countless others. They envisioned soft blue planets circling distant suns, drifting calmly through their own cosmic neighborhoods. They imagined life evolving under gentle skies, feeling the same quiet wonder that had arisen on their world. They pictured civilizations far away, gazing upward at their own night skies and feeling the same soothing connection to the stars. And as they imagined these possibilities, they felt an even deeper sense of peace. The universe, vast and calm, had room for endless stories, all unfolding slowly under the soft glow of countless suns. Each story, no matter how small, contributed to the grand, tranquil symphony that had begun with the universe's first breath. Through this understanding, they felt themselves soften, breathing a little slower, letting go of the weight of their day. The stars above continued to shine gently, their light traveling across unimaginable distances just to arrive softly, quietly in the eyes of those who watched. It was a reminder that the universe had always moved at its own gentle pace, inviting them to rest within its calm embrace. And so, under the vast starlit sky, they closed their eyes, letting the story of creation wash over them like a warm, quiet tide, soothing their thoughts, slowing their minds, carrying them gently into rest. The universe continued expanding softly around them, and they drifted into the peaceful rhythm that had been present since the dawn of time. And as they drifted into that peaceful rhythm, the universe seemed to cradle them with its vastness, holding them gently as though each mind were a small, quiet star of its own, floating effortlessly through the soft dark. The stars above shimmered with steady patience, pulsing faintly like calm heartbeats spread across an infinite sky. Their light moved silently, crossing billions of years to arrive in the present moment, where it touched the surface of oceans, the peaks of mountains, and the closed eyelids of those who rested beneath the night. Every ray carried the same soothing message. Everything is unfolding in its own gentle time, just as it always has. Deep in the quiet reaches of space, galaxies continued their slow, sweeping rotations, their arms curled gracefully outward, like soft spirals of paint drifting across water. Within them, stars drifted in serene orbits, maintaining their balance with silent precision. Nebulas shimmered in subtle waves of color, lavenders and blues and pale pinks, glowing like distant clouds lit by moonlight. Their vast shapes stretched and shifted, moving so slowly that to witness their full transformation would take millions of years. Yet in their stillness, they radiated a sense of cosmic calm, as the universe breathed in its quiet, steady way. The fabric of space expanded with gentle consistency. No sound echoed across the void. No rush disturbed the tranquil darkness. Instead, there was only the soft hum of existence stretching onward, a low vibration too subtle to be heard, yet deeply felt in the stillness of the cosmos. It was a hum that resonated through every particle, every star, every drifting mote of dust, binding them all together in a peaceful continuity that had existed since the universe was young. In the quietness of their sleep, the people dreamed of floating through this vast expanse. They imagined themselves drifting weightlessly through star fields, gliding between gentle waves of stardust that sparkled around them like tiny lanterns. They felt light, unburdened, their minds calm and steady as they passed through regions of space where the glow of distant galaxies painted soft patterns across the darkness. In their dreams, they visited nebula clouds that billowed like slow-moving curtains, each fold shimmering with soft pastel light. They reached out with dream hands and felt the smoothness of the cosmic breeze, a sensation of warmth and tranquility unlike anything on earth. Some dreamed of drifting closer to newborn stars, watching them glow with quiet intensity as they gathered themselves from clouds of shimmering dust. These young stars pulsed gently, sending waves of light outward in soft radiance, offering warmth to the darkness around them. The dreamers felt that warmth wash over them, soothing every thought, relaxing every breath, filling their minds with a sense of quiet belonging. They understood, even in dreams, that these stars were shaped by the same calm unfolding that guided everything in the universe. Others drifted farther out, beyond the places where stars were plentiful. They found themselves in the deep cosmic quiet, a darkness so soft and comforting that it felt like floating in a sea of gentle night. There was no fear there, no emptiness, only a peaceful silence so profound that it seemed to cradle their thoughts. The only lights were the faint, distant glimmers of galaxies far away, their swirls barely visible like fireflies resting at the edge of vision. In this space, the dreamers felt time slow down completely, stretching into a single, endless moment of rest. Their bodies on earth breathed softly, rising and falling with the same gentle rhythm that guided the movements of galaxies. The quiet expansion of the universe, the slow drift of cosmic dust, the steady glow of distant suns, all of it seemed to settle into their breath, filling them with a deep sense of calm. In sleep, their minds became mirrors of the cosmos, vast and open, unhurried and serene. Meanwhile, on the small blue world, turning steadily beneath its warm star, the night deepened into a soothing stillness. Oceans shimmered under the moon's pale glow, their surfaces rippling gently as if whispering secrets shared only with the sky. The forests swayed in slow patterns, leaves brushing lightly against one another, creating soft, rhythmic sounds that blended perfectly with the calm of the night. Even the winds seemed to quiet themselves, drifting softly across the land in long, peaceful breaths. In the mountain valleys, rivers continued their smooth journeys, their waters sliding over polished stones with delicate murmurs. These sounds echoed softly between the cliffs, blending into the natural lullabies of the night. On the wide plains, grasses rippled like waves, their movement guided by the subtle motions of the air. Animals settled into their own rhythms of rest, curling into safe spaces where the quiet darkness enveloped them like a warm cradle. Above it all, the stars kept shining, patient and steady. Each one represented a point in time, a tiny beacon that had witnessed billions of years pass in silence. Some of them were ancient, older than the mountains and oceans, older than the land itself. Their light had traveled incredible distances across the cosmos, through nebula clouds, and past drifting galaxies, until finally reaching the night sky of this quiet planet. In that moment of arrival, their long journey became part of the dreams of those resting below, and still the universe moved in its slow, unfaltering rhythm. The forces that shaped the galaxies persisted gently, nudging stars along their orbits, guiding planets in smooth arcs, stretching the fabric of space with patient hands. Even the tiniest particles continued their silent interactions, drifting and colliding in patterns that echoed the earliest motions of creation. Everything, from the most massive galaxy cluster to the smallest grain of dust, contributed to the peaceful harmony that defined the cosmos. As ages passed in the dreamscape, the dreamers felt themselves drifting through scenes from the universe's early moments. They saw the soft glow that once filled all of space, the warm light that marked the universe's first breath. They imagined themselves floating in that golden radiance, feeling safe and held, surrounded by a quiet that felt like a cosmic embrace. They drifted through the cooling era when particles danced gently in expanding space, forming delicate patterns that hinted at future stars. They watched the gentle gathering of matter in calm spirals, the soothing birth of galaxies, the slow formation of stars whose light would shine for billions of years. These visions flowed into one another like gentle waves, each memory of the universe unfolding with calm continuity. There were no abrupt transitions, no sudden changes, only the fluid shift from one tranquil era to the next. It was a story told in soft motions and quiet glows, a story that had been whispered across billions of years and would continue whispering for billions more. Eventually, in their dreams, the people found themselves drifting back toward their small world, watching it spin peacefully against the backdrop of starry darkness. They saw its oceans shimmer, its continents bathed in soft moonlight, its clouds drifting like delicate brushstrokes across the sky. They recognized the calm beauty of this world, the same beauty that had drawn life into being and nurtured it across countless generations. They felt a deep sense of belonging, a gentle pull that guided them back toward their resting bodies. As they returned, the scene of Earth growing larger, they felt the universe's quiet rhythm settle even deeper into their mind. The soft expansions, the gentle rotations, the steady glows, all of it flowed into their breath, easing every tension, calming every thought. They descended slowly toward the comfort of sleep, like drifting leaves settling onto still water. And when they finally reached the edge between dream and rest, they found themselves wrapped in the same cosmic stillness that had existed since the dawn of time. Their breath rose and fell in harmony with the universe's patient unfolding. Their heartbeat matched the slow pulse of distant stars. Their minds floated in the quiet between thoughts, a peaceful expanse as vast and gentle as the space between galaxies. The universe continued its soft expansion. They slept deeply and peacefully, held by the calm of creation itself. And as they slept, wrapped in the gentle rhythm of the cosmos, the night deepened around them with an even softer quiet, as though the universe itself were tucking every living thing beneath a blanket woven from starlight and time. The sky stretched above like a calm ocean turned upside down, each star a tiny ripple of light shimmering against the vastness, each ray reaching across eternity with patient, unhurried warmth. Their dreams drifted deeper, sinking into the soft darkness, where thoughts dissolved into calm sensations, where the mind floated freely in the space between moments. In that space, they felt the universe breathing. It was a quiet, steady pulse, like a distant heartbeat, resonating through invisible threads that connected all things. Galaxies breathed in great, slow cycles, their spirals turning gently like ancient windmills gliding through the dark. Nebula clouds breathed in subtle expansions, releasing faint glows that rippled outward like soft waves. Even the empty stretches of space, the quiet regions between stars, held a kind of gentle breath, a calm presence that supported everything without effort. As the dreamers drifted further into the serenity around them, they felt themselves rise again, floating above their world, watching it turn slowly beneath them. The continents glowed faintly under the moonlight, their shapes softened by mist and shadow. The oceans shimmered with reflections of stars, gentle curves of light tracing the edges of waves. The atmosphere wrapped the planet in a thin, delicate haze, glowing softly where it met the light of the moon. Everything appeared softened, peaceful, as though the entire world were resting. Their drifting carried them farther outward once more, into the gentle silence of space, where Earth became a small glowing bead suspended in infinite calm. They moved effortlessly, guided not by force, but by the quiet intention of the universe. Stars passed them in slow sweeps, each one radiating warmth that felt like the comforting presence of an old friend. The further they drifted, the more they felt the boundaries of themselves dissolve, blending with the quiet around them, until they were no longer separate from the cosmos, but an intimate part of its serene unfolding. In this dreamlike journey, they glided past clusters of stars that shone together like small gatherings of glowing jewels. They drifted through cool streams of cosmic dust that sparkled softly like powdered light. They passed bright regions where stars were being born, expanding spheres of radiance that pulsed with the gentle confidence of new beginnings. Everything they witnessed felt slow, peaceful, and deeply reassuring, as though all of creation were unfolding at exactly the right pace. Eventually, their drifting carried them toward the farthest reaches of imagination. They saw light traveling endlessly across the cosmic ocean, never tired, never lost. They sensed the faint, ancient glow that still lingered from the universe's earliest moments, a soft warmth that pervaded the entire expanse like the memory of a distant sunrise. They felt the subtle stretching of space itself, not harsh or sudden, but smooth and continuous, a gentle flow that reminded them of tides moving across an endless shore. As they floated, they realized that the universe was not silent because it was empty, but because it was peaceful. Every corner of existence was filled with calm motion, soft light, and the quiet persistence of creation. The swirling galaxies, the drifting stars, the glowing clouds of dust, all of it moved with a grace that transcended time. Even the darkness between stars felt soothing, like a warm, velvety space where the mind could rest without boundaries. In this vast serenity, they sensed how deeply connected everything truly was. the atoms in their bodies, the particles that made their thoughts, the breath that moved through their lungs, all of it had once been part of distant stars. All of it had drifted through the universe before gathering into the form they now inhabited. And long before that, all of it had emerged from the soft, glowing potential of the early universe. They felt that connection not as a thought, but as a gentle truth, a feeling that settled into their being and relaxed them even further. Their dreams carried them across the quiet ages of time. They drifted over the slow blooming of galaxies, each one opening like a cosmic flower across billions of years. They witnessed ancient stars glowing with steady faithfulness until they grew cool and dim, releasing their elements back into the universe to form new stars, new worlds, new chances for life. They saw the long arc of cosmic history unfolding like a gentle story told with infinite patience. And through every era, from the earliest warmth to the farthest future, the universe remained calm, a sanctuary of endless, quiet creation. As they drifted through these visions, they felt their own breath slow even more, matching the cosmic rhythm unfolding around them. Their heartbeat softened, becoming as steady as the rotation of planets, as predictable as the rising and setting of stars across alien skies. Their bodies relaxed further, melting into the sensation of weightlessness, floating in a tranquil expanse where time stretched like soft fabric, unbroken and unhurried. In the deepest part of their dream, they approached the very beginning again, not as a violent burst, but as a warm glow unfolding. They saw the first light spreading outward in soft waves, illuminating nothingness with gentle brilliance. They felt the warmth of that moment, the peaceful expansion, the slow awakening of everything that would ever exist. They understood that the universe had begun not with destruction, but with possibility, gentle, glowing possibility, expanding into all directions at once. The early particles drifted, as calm as dust motes floating through a sunbeam. They joined with quiet intention, forming clouds that pulsed with soft energy. These clouds spun slowly, their spirals forming the seeds of galaxies. Stars formed within them like glowing embers, and planets gathered peacefully around those stars. The dreamers felt themselves present for all these moments, not as observers, but as part of the unfolding, as though their very essence were woven into the fabric of that ancient light. The dream circled gently between the past and the present, showing them that everything was connected in a single serene story. The stars above their world, the atoms within their bodies, the breath flowing in and out of their lungs, all of it was the same quiet energy expressed in different forms, drifting through time with patience and grace. They felt comfort in this, knowing that they were part of something vast and gentle, something that had always existed and would continue long after their dreams faded. Gradually, the dream guided them back toward their world again. The earth glowed softly beneath them, a small blue gem suspended in the cosmic calm. They descended slowly, as though floating down through layers of soft light. The atmosphere welcomed them with gentle warmth, its colors blending like watercolor, the pale blues of dawn merging with the deeper blues of night. The oceans glittered faintly, the forests lay in deep shadow, and the mountains stood quietly under the dim glow of starlight. As they drifted closer, they felt the quiet embrace of their world wrap around them. The familiar sensation of gravity returned, like a soft hand guiding them home. They drifted downward, settling into the comforting darkness of their resting bodies. They felt the sheets around them, the calm air of the room, the slow rhythm of their breath continuing in peaceful waves. Their minds rested now in the liminal space between dream and sleep, where thoughts no longer pressed and the world felt soft and distant. The dream faded gradually, like mist dissolving in morning light, but the calm it brought remained. The universe's gentle rhythm still echoed within them, a soft hum beneath their thoughts. They felt the tranquility of distant stars, the slow turning of galaxies, the warm glow of the universe's beginnings. All of it lingered inside them, filling them with comfort deeper than thought, deeper than words. And as they drifted into the deepest sleep, they felt themselves sinking into that cosmic calm, wrapped in a peace as vast as the night sky. The universe continued expanding softly around them. The stars continued shining with patient light. The galaxies continued drifting in slow spirals. Everything moved gently, endlessly, without hurry. They slept deeply and completely, held by the same quiet serenity that has guided the cosmos since its very first breath, and the universe, calm and endless, watched over them through the night.